Welcome to the SuperHero Sanctum, an offshoot of the PCVG in which Tetris and Waha try to pitch each other superheroes.
Each episode will be at least 10 minutes long, but each superpower may last several episodes. So stay tuned and enjoy the SuperHero Sanctum.
Hello, 'tis I, Waha, and joining me as always is Tetris.
Where? Where's Tetris?
Oh, it's right there, right in front of you.
Oh god, he's on my face.
He's coming to get you.
7 days.
7 days. But anyways, we're here to discuss more of the SuperHero Sanctum, and this time is a very important subject. Kind of talking more on the background, and mostly we've just been talking bullshit about random superheroes, but now we're kind of talking about the setting and what in the world is even fucking going on.
Well, and even it's the heart of the Sanctum. Here in Sanctumburg Cityville, USA. Trademark. Is what we like to call the Sanctum, which I'll let Garrett to explain the society behind that more, since he has more of that written out. But as for myself, the heart of the Sanctumburg will be Mason Ward. And Mason Ward is an expression of what is actually wrong or going wrong with the world of Sanctum. And what is going wrong with the world of Sanctum is a dimensional rift, as is a very convenient Deus Ex Machina plot device. This dimensional rift, which is, tearing of time and space, as we like to call it, is, it's no good. It's leaking in all sorts of bad energies and unexplainable phenomena. And one of these is an expression of this wound of space and time, which is a ghost interdimensional higher essence, some sort of fractured being called Mason Ward, who's gone through before this became a huge rift and built up a sort of school, if you would, that would train super beings into their powers and basically become more powerful for when later organisms are able to slip through this crack between here and where could be. Yeah, I think that's pretty good explanation of it.
Like beings coming through and or beings being affected by the crack.
Yep, that's the main important part. I say organisms because the beginning stuff is going to be a lot less. It's going to be a lot more abstract, which is going to be a challenge for us to describe entirely. But otherwise, it's going to be an interesting thing to write, I think. Garrett, you had it was what we had previously. I think we had leaked it, the Headhunters, which you knew more about. You'd like to.
Oh yeah, which is the Headhunters are basically an organization of supers who go and search about other supers, whether they don't know they're superpowered or not, or using their superpowers for minor crime, or just using their superpowers for day-to-day life. Like a telekinetic person changing, the laundry over without having to get the fuck up. I'd do it, and you'd do it too.
You're basically describing Charles Xavier looking for mutants, which is fine.
But it's for all sorts of superheroes, not just mutant racist, because Charles Xavier was mutant racist. I mean, Spider-Man was technically mutant, but he wasn't born a mutant.
Well, he was gene eugenics or something like that.
It's still a mutant of some sort.
Yeah, it just wasn't from birth, you're right.
Exactly.
He wasn't from birth.
It's very exactly. For that, it's very specifically anybody with the X gene. But this is just any sort of superhero or any sort of superpower. And that's so we can easily create backstories without having to say, like, this is the reason they're fighting crime. But
Well,
this is the reason they're fighting crime, because an organization said, hey, you should use your power for good or at least not bad. So a lot of people are like, hey, let's use it for good because, this organization will help me at least do it for money. Connect into ass and whatnot.
yeah, which I definitely think we should connect it to ass. I'd like it to be a little bit more neutral, like in its goal, but maybe that's just how I see Mason Ward, since he's an expression of the dimensional rift, or
I mean,
he's
sure, it can
basically
be
the
neutral.
tapestry of space time, but he's localized, which is why he's expressing himself as a physical being. And so, like, he's just trying to locate superpowered people and make them stronger by any means. Which means he could totally show up and, like, give a superpowered person to a villain if it's the way he sees that person getting stronger.
That could be better. Yeah.
But, like, he does
Especially
work
for
for
an
the
organization.
Headhunters. I agree with that.
Yeah, especially for an organization called the Headhunters. And, like, some people who do work with the Headhunters otherwise definitely aren't happy about it. I can see that for sure, but they're, if they corner the market on hiring or getting into contact with supers, then there's not much any sort of other organization can do about it. Yeah, I like that angle. Just a very neutral organization that doesn't care whether or not they raise the next super genocidal
Well, and that would
super
be
villain.
the inner organization of the Headhunters, which we could call the Sanctum, or the Sanctum Council, which would be people that, Mason Ward would actually express his inner desires, like, the workings of the universe, a more complete understanding of what's going on. That way, people will actually know what's going on. And those people can just be, like, one of them could be part of ASS, and he just happens to be a council member in secret. We do it like the Council of 12.
Or count, yeah. It's gonna be weird though. God,
Oh, yeah.
that much information on how the world's working and why it's going on blows someone's fucking mind.
Yeah, kind of, but it's still like there's enough secret elements and stuff we just haven't figured out. These are just like the inner workings a little bit. And even then, like, I'm not going to tell them what interdimensional creatures are going to look like and stuff like that, which I already know. Spoiler. So, yeah, no, Mason Ward's one of those people that we can have show up that, whenever Mason Ward shows up, that's when people are going to be like, oh god, what's going on? Because he's when it's going to be when important shit happens, especially near the end.
Tons of exposition. Which we won't get into that now. I mean, we don't want to say how the story ends, or even how the story middles at this point, considering how early on we're in the development of this bullshittery.
Yeah, but I think Mason Ward's going to be one of those people who show up early.
Oh yeah, like very subtly, and you don't know what in the world he even does.
Yeah, pretty much.
God, probably what he even does is just raw power out the ass to brute force his way to do whatever he wants.
Well, he can work things like physics on whatever level he wants, I would say. Like, he can make water burn and stuff like that. So kind of comparable to Malco Man, except he's not working in physics on this as we know it. Like Molecule Man is at least manipulating basic elements of physics, whereas he is not bound by
Hmm. Yeah, like, I mean, you could say he technically is, but not physics of our world.
that. Yeah,
Because
exactly.
if we are, like, exploring that option where the rift is to somewhere else, then that somewhere else could be some horrid place where,
Oh yeah, that's going to be another big part of that. Go ahead and just next that, but it's a terrible place on the other side of the rift. Like,
I'd have to
there's a
assume
reason I
so.
said organisms, and I'll explain that to you after this cast, which I think we've pretty much said anything for this part of the inner workings for what we want to know.
Yeah, we're pretty much done. We
Okay.
introduced this obscure subject and at least introduced the headhunters, which means our next few are probably going to be the hunting members, the ones who are actually doing the initial sort of legwork. And I definitely have those ones already.
Okay, so maybe, we'll call it good for right now. All right, later, people. Tune in next week.
Saw you.
Bye.